hear me?
Yes.
Caroline, I'm here full speed. So I'm going to go quick because I know we only have a couple of minutes for Q&A. This wealth principles really connects with the book of the week, Blue Fishing, because sometimes we limit our thinking to the way, oh, I can, who am I to help that person? Or I don't have this or this or that. And ask yourself a question like, what is possible for you, or why not this step? Like, for example, if you when you read this book or listen to this book, the subtitle with making things possible, like, what is it that you are blocking in yourself that you cannot like move forward? So go after it. And I have a quote. I want to like just read it real fast for you because it kind of changed my life to this principle. Because before I was like, oh, I'm not nobody yet to do this big deal or a big thing or call that person or have this guy booked on the podcast. And the quote is, your attitude is a major factor in all the outcomes of your life. So how you think about approach and how you feel your life and your value, that will really, really make a big difference or not. So your attitude is a major factor in all the outcomes of your life. I'll leave you with that.
Let's give the Russian princess a round of applause. If you don't know what Darina does in our community, it is my fault also. Darina does all of the live events. Who remembers the 100 Millionaire Summit? We were all there, 100 Millionaire Summit this year. I had nothing to do with that, just so we all know. Darina did absolutely everything. All I did was show up and speak. In fact, me and Doug probably did just as much work. So let's give Darina a round of applause for all the live events. Master of Influence, same thing. Me and Doug are just going to go out there, look pretty, do our piece. Terry will be there as well. And like, if it wasn't for all the work she does behind the scenes, all the virtual assistants you see here who are helping us, supporting us, they're getting trained by Corinne and Darina. They work together as a team. So let's one more time. Let's just give Darina a lot of love. This community would not be as tight as we are if it wasn't for her doing everything she does behind the scenes. And then same for my business partner, who I may pick on for 8% interest like almost half a decade ago, but he has done so much work behind the scenes at Alchemist Nation with the website, with Alchemist University. There is a lot going on. Just getting the developers working, getting the links working, getting everything to happen behind the scenes, getting the email campaigns to go out right so that everybody gets notified properly. So let's give Ron Bowling a round of applause. He's not only a multimillionaire and a real estate investor, but he's like one of the smartest IT guys I've ever met. So very blessed to have him working behind the scenes with us. So, and then our coaches, our millionaires, Drew Martin also for showing up today, another millionaire, the mentors, guys, gals, if it wasn't for you guys, you know, paying it forward, teaching, training, and giving your information, I would have less hair than I do, right? I would have been bald a little sooner, maybe have less eyebrows. So thank you guys for all the support and paying it forward. So I do want to open it up. Let's give our coaches a round of applause. Our coaches, our mentors, a round of applause. Thank you guys for your support. All right. Now this is for the people. What is your burning question? You have an opportunity to ask millionaires, multimillionaires, a question for your business, for your personal life, whatever comes to your mind, go ahead. Just don't take off your clothes or say anything inappropriate. We are live on Facebook and there could be kids watching. Go ahead.
So I would like to, because Darina just hit what my question was. It was like, so, you know, you want to connect with, you know, these big name people. And it's like, well, who am I to approach this, you know, gazillionaire and ask them what it is that they want? So for those of you coaches and those of you in the Millionaire Club, how would you like for someone, you know, like me to just walk up to you and approach you and say, oh, hey, you know, like, do you introduce yourself and then just say, what is it that you're looking for? Just trying to get more clarification on how to ask.
I can answer that. So I'll share a quick story. So a good friend of mine, super successful, he just really super successful guy, good friend of mine. And so I was talking to him. I said, we're in this group. We have a group called Ego, the Elite Gentlemen's Organization. And it's just 6 of us that get together once a month. And they're all like super high performers. And it's just a little quick mastermind. And we've become very tight. And we've been doing this for over 8 years. So I was on the phone with him, and I was like, yeah, I think I've got a guy that I may want to bring in. I haven't brought anybody in because it's only starting to be open. Because unfortunately one of the members passed away, and we keep it really small. And so I back up. Let's share why I'm sharing this with you. So I tell him who it is, and it's the lead pastor at the guy that founded this church by us that we go to, and it's multiple location. He's like super successful, like has multiple businesses, doesn't take a salary, does this out of his heart. So we go to the church. I went up to him and I was like, hey Scott, love to me, and he's already we already knew obviously how successful he was and all of that. And I was like, hey, I'd love to, just like to learn about you. You want to grab lunch? And he goes, yeah, okay, sure. Here's my cell number. Let's book it. So we do it. We have lunch. We become friends, and and I didn't ask for anything. I just kind of wanted to learn about him, and so we're friends. So then I tell my friend Chip, I'm like, I'm just thinking, do you know Scott Ball? I think you guys are friends on Facebook. He goes, yeah, no, I do. I tried to meet with him. He's gonna bring his product to him. I want to see if I could get it in the church and all of that, and I just can't seem to, get with him. I said, well, all right, I'll see. We're not going to do it this month, but maybe next month, see if he's available. And I said, he's like, well, how do you know him? I said, well, I just asked him, to go to lunch. I said, he went to lunch with you? And I was like, yeah. He goes, how'd you do that? And I said, I asked him. So I'm sharing the simplicity of it because everything you just went through in your head is the opposite of what they're thinking. Most people don't just go, hey, I'd love to learn about you. You got time? You want to, grab lunch, grab coffee, grab whatever? Now, here's the thing. They may be busy. So you also need to be persistent and just keep on them. I had the one, he was a mentor of mine for a little while until he passed away. Same thing. I booked a meeting with him. He was the founder of, he was the money behind the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. He was the money behind Lou Pearlman. Like almost a billionaire, owned merchant banks, major, owned a whole floor of an apartment on the Upper East Side. So I called him and he's like, oh, yeah, I'd love to talk to you. I see what the stock market is doing. I got to go. Click, and hung up. And I was like, oh, I didn't call him back for years. Then I was in another place. I was like, all right, I'm going to call him back. I booked, he took him, he's like, okay, booked a meeting. He canceled. Called him back, booked a meeting. It was like a month in advance. He canceled again. Went on for 4 or 5 times before he finally took a meeting. So finally I get there and he's sitting down and he's on the phone in his Upper East Side apartment. He's on the phone. He puts up the newspaper and he points at it. And in the article was how the kid of the president of Mexico stole this property in Mexico, and he's pointing to it, and it was his property. And and then he points to it, he's like, he was on the phone with the State Department to deal with this property. So anyway, he hangs up the phone where he goes, hey Doug, do you know why I took this meeting? I was like, no. He goes, because you didn't give up. I owed it to you. You stayed on me. You kept going. Every time I canceled, I was like, I owed it to you. And I thought I was only going to be there for a few minutes. I was there the entire day. And we just hung out and then we became great friends. So again, I'm sharing these 2 stories, and all that was mindset. It was going in with that mindset, believing that everybody puts their pants on the same way, one leg at a time. Anytime that someone goes in with that negative, oh, they're not going to talk to me, that may be the result. If you go in with, hey, they're just a regular person and just love to get to know them and humble, but also, you know, knowing you have something to add. But again, that meeting is only to get to know each other. What Walter's doing, what I've done as well, podcasts are a great way to do it as well, because some other people are like, okay, I may not want to sit down and talk with you for no reason, but if I'm getting a chance to get my message out there, if I'm, you know, all you're doing is asking me questions, you know, heck, you could even, you know, say, hey, I'm interviewing successful people for a book. Would you mind just having a, you know, a conversation, right? These are ways you could get around it. But remember, it's all up here first. Show up with that, you know, belief that everyone's, you know, a human being. And, you know, when you treat them like that, that's the other thing. Sometimes people are not used to someone treating them like that.
I think to tag on with what Doug is talking about, when we're thinking about them not talking to us, we're not thinking about them. We're thinking about ourselves, and we're self-focused. And whenever we're self-focused, we're in the wrong mindset. And so we really want to be thinking about them. And time after time, when I start doing that type of thing about oh God, what are they going to think of me? I just got to reset. Why am I focused on me instead of them? How curious am I when I'm focused on me instead of them? And it's really being curious about them and how you can help them and learning about them before anything else.
Absolutely. Let's give Doug and Terry a round of applause. Master of Influence. You're going to get the Masters of Influence showing you how they do it. I see Ken Walls is live on Facebook. Ken Walls, I appreciate you, brother. If there's one person who rivals Doug McGurk and his connections, it's Ken Walls. He's friends with Grant Cardone. He just had Brian Tracy on his podcast yesterday or the day before. Between Doug and Ken, I am pretty sure that I'm like one person away from just about everybody on the freaking planet between these two networkers. And like what Doug said, man, at the end, a podcast is so powerful. The podcast and what he said with the book, I've been saying for about 6 months to a year that I'm going to go and put a book together that's just called 100 Millionaires, right? The 100 Millionaires book is going to be 100 interviews that I've done with millionaires. And I'll just put everybody in there, and it'll be a book that goes out, and people will be able to read, like, hey, this is how this person became successful. Here are the 3 pieces of advice. And it's the camera, if you know, that's a good project. Like, that's a really engaging piece of content. What's even cooler is everybody I've had on that podcast has an audience. So I'm able to ask them if they would promote that book to their audience, since they're also somebody highlighted in the book. Cool. Serve more people, give them what you want, you get what you want. Help more people get rich, serve more people. Awesome question. Let's give Jamie a round of applause. Great question. I love it. And for everybody who's jumping off, I don't want you to feel like you have to stay on with us. If you got other things to do, coaches, mentorship members, our VAs, feel free to hang out if you want. I'll stick around for a few more minutes. I do have a commitment with Dr. Terry Wager. I told him I would do a podcast with him every week, so he and I jump on a call. But I want to stick on for a few more minutes. I know we only answered one question, so definitely load up the chat or just unmute your mic and ask. This is your chance. And the people who don't ask questions will forever wonder what would have happened if I just unmuted the mic and asked a question. Go ahead, Stephen, you're up.
How you doing? Is it Walter?
Walter, you got it.
Right. Well, thanks for the invite with Mr. Mark Jester below, but it's like what is it? Connect Four, right? What is it that he looks like a big like Brady bunch here. But what I appreciate about your platform is I come from real estate from a consulting platform. My core competency was in the legal field. I've been in the legal field for 14 years. So,
Stephen, do you have something going on in the background?
Yeah, give me a second.
Yes.
I got two different
because I feel like I'm translating. I'm listening to 2 conversations at once. There you go, brother. Thank you.
I got 2 different Zooms going on. My bad. So here's my thing. I like your platform. I think investing is the staple of my firm, but I take it from a consulting standpoint. I basically have a team of agents that facilitate commercial or residential transactions. I have everything, in-house as far as credit repair, financial services, in-house builder, solar energy, et cetera, et cetera. So what I want to ask you is, I want to focus mainly as an investor side on commercial, either new development or purchasing commercial, like mergers, acquisitions, like investing in businesses. What would you
Hell yeah.
suggest the route to go, best route to go?
What I would suggest is you and I have a conversation. What you're looking to
Yeah,
do is
I
gonna be very personal.
I already booked a 15-minute with you, so I'm already ahead of you.
Let's give Steven a round of applause. Great job, brother. It's going to depend on what your retirement plan looks like. Like, what do you want to look like in the end? So if you want to build, are you looking for billionaire status? Then businesses, right? Real estate is nice, but to become a billionaire in real estate is hefty. You're talking heavy lifting, heavy capital. To become a billionaire in business is significantly easier because all you have to do is improve sales and marketing.
If I may, let me expand then. I invested in 2 wellness companies because it fits into my business plan because it helps me real estate. Because on the commercial side, I'm basically acquiring businesses anyway. And then a wellness company is like, for example, massage parlors or medical, medical, okay. Because I do CBD, you know, if you feel your CBD, medical marijuana, that's the new health and wellness trend. And that's why I invested in. So that's kind of what I'm looking.
Yeah, absolutely, man. There's money in those industries if obviously you know what you're doing, you put a good manager in place, and you scale the sales and the marketing.
Okay,
Any business can be solved. Any business problem can be solved with a little bit more sales. Just increase.
I wanted to get information in the membership. That's all. I'll get down the call.
Hell yeah. I'm also in Florida. I'm in Tampa. What part of Florida are you in?
Well, no, I said I want to get on the call. I'm in my accent. I'm from East Coast. So on the call with you, I want to go more in depth with the membership. I'm from Baltimore originally. We do business in Florida, Texas, Georgia, and Maryland, DC.
Awesome. Excellent. Steven, I'm looking forward to it, brother. Let's give Steven Walton a round of applause. Thank you for showing up, man. I'm glad we get to connect. One more proof, ladies and gentlemen, look to serve people. Steven's looking for an opportunity to serve me. I'm looking for an opportunity to serve him. That when 2 people get together who want to serve each other, boom, that's where big money is made, big opportunities. Go ahead, Mike.
Ken Walls, who's on the Facebook, says he wants to be let in because he wanted to answer Jamie's question. So.
Oh, hell yeah.
I don't know if you can.
Where is Ken?
Might be,
all right.
No, it was like 11:03. So
I can drop a link in the Facebook where he is right now for him.
Yeah, let me get him a link also. We'll take another question while we're going. What else do we have? 4 questions, and he's messaging me directly, so I'll message him right now.
I don't know if Sandra wants to talk about her project she's doing. I spoke to Sandra Scroy this week about her thing, so you might want to see if she wants to talk about that. Sandra?
Unmute the mic. Let us know what's going on.
What's going on?
Little shameless plug.
Yes, absolutely. But we're a helping community.
Yeah. I pretty much it's private. I'll reach out. I'll reach out to people. So, or if anyone wants to reach out to me, that's probably better. Yeah. So
awesome, Sarah. What's the
to
easiest way to get in touch with you if somebody wants to reach out and connect with Sandra Scroy?
Sandra freaking Scroy. Okay, the best way to reach out to Sandra Scroy is the chat, Facebook, Instagram, email, which is Sandra Scroy Studios. So I'll put that in the chat.
Okay, so that's a number of ways to reach you. What is the one way you want everyone to reach out to you?
Okay.
AlchemistNation.com. Go to AlchemistNation.com and connect with Sandra.
Okay, we can do just Facebook, I guess, would be the best way. I'll send the link right now in chat. Hold on.
Excellent. If my eyes don't deceive me, my good friend Ken Walls just jumped into the show here. Who'd like to meet a good friend of Grant Cardone's? Yes. Would it be interesting to meet somebody who introduced me to a billionaire? Is that something that would be interesting to you? Somebody who hangs with the ballers, with the rollers? Let's give it up. Let's give Ken Walls a big round of applause.
Hey, Walter, man. Hey, I just wanted to jump on for a minute. I heard that young lady's question about meeting the super elite, I guess. And, you know, first, for me, it comes, and may I speak? Do you care?
Go ahead, man. Absolutely.
Okay. All
I
right.
wouldn't have invited you in if I didn't expect you to say something.
We'd be honored to hear from you.
So I invested a lot of money getting to know Grant Cardone. I put my assistant on an airplane, flew her to Miami, delivered 2 custom bottles of wine that I had made for Grant and his family, or Grant and his wife, not his kids. But I put his whole family on the labels of these wine bottles and had my young, beautiful assistant deliver them because I knew she'd get his attention. And he called me that day, and that was back in 2014. And I had a show on Grant Cardone TV after that. And I really got to know him as a person too over the years, and he's become a good friend. In fact, I'm the only person that he reached out to the day after he filmed Undercover Billionaire. And I had him on a live stream show talking about Undercover Billionaire. So I've also become business partners with Mark Victor Hansen, the #1 best-selling author in the world, with Chicken Soup for the Soul. And he's the one. So I reach out, I'm talking to Mark on the phone. This is the Brian Tracy story, because Brian Tracy is literally my hero. He's the reason I am not in prison. I'm kidding. But he's he's the one that set my mindset right 30 years ago, and through his program. So, you know, what I would say, the #1 way to get in with super wealthy people who have made it, quote unquote, is learn how to serve them and their needs. And you know, like, I always think when I meet somebody, how can I best serve this person? What can I do for a guy that, you know, Rami Albatrawi, who's a billionaire. He's been a billionaire twice. He lost it the first time. And now he's a billionaire again, lives in Beverly Hills, has the largest wide-bodied private jet in the world. And Rami texts me all the time. And it's like, my mind, every time I get a text message from this guy, my mind kind of explodes, because I'm like, a billionaire just texted me and said, "Hey, how you doing?" Or "Merry Christmas." He Merry Christmased me. I'm like, dude, what is going on in my life? So, you know, and it's all because, and I'm an Amazon influencer. Again, another blessing that just came through a lot of, you know, I've done over 3,000 live streams. I have a training academy on all of it. And that's how Walter knows how. I'm just kidding, but I'm kidding.
Kidding, not kidding. Like, it was actually Charles Coachman that connected me.
I know. Charles learned everything he knows from me. I'm kidding. No, I love Charles. So, you know, the way that I do it is I just look for ways to serve my fellow man. I have an email up on my screen. I'm sending a video message to Mark Victor Hansen and Brian Tracy this morning. I'm getting ready to record a video and say, "Hey, Mark, thank you, #1, for introducing me to Brian Tracy. Brian, it was an honor for you being on my show. It was incredible. And I'd like to invite you to be on Amazon Live too, because he's written a few books. So we can get on there and sell his books." But anyway, and the other thing is, stop the fear. I mean, you can't stop the fear. Like, you can't. The fear is going to be there. I have fear every single day of my life. Grant Cardone told me, he's like, "Bro, I wake up scared to death every morning. Like, I'm going to lose all my shit." And I'm like, dude, I get that. Like, I get it. The more that you do, the more you accumulate, the more relationships you develop, the more you start worrying about, like, am I going to say the wrong thing to Mark Victor Hansen? He's going to destroy me online or something, or, you know, and the bottom line is, we're making all that stuff up. It's not real. I do it anyway. Like I'm working on, I already know Bob Proctor's going to be on my show. And so I'm working on some follow-up stuff with him or his assistant, to make that happen. I'm working on some other even bigger names than the ones I've mentioned so far. So, and I don't let fear, I have Trump's cell phone number. I mean, I don't let fear get in my way. I just pick up the phone and call them, or I'll send them a message or whatever. So that's all. I just wanted to say, just do it. Just so cliche, but freaking just do it. Just pick up the phone, send them a message. I had some dude in where it's in Africa, the prince that sends all the money. What's that country that they
Zimbabwe?
Huh?
Zimbabwe?
I don't know, somewhere. But I had a guy ask me to come.
Yeah.
What is it?
Zamunda?
That's funny.
Nigeria. Alan just put in there. Nigeria. I had a guy from Nigeria ask me to come and speak to 600 schools or something like that on so I've already thought, all right, which one of you knows the prince that owes me $2 million? That's how I'm going to open it up. But anyway, like, you just got to put yourself out there. You got to stomp on the freaking gas. I remember one time I had all of these issues with people in my company working for me, and I had to get rid of them. They were cancerous. And I remember talking to Grant Cardone about it, and he's like, dude, just cut them. I'm like, bro, like, it'll leave me with one person in the company if I cut all these 5 other people. And he goes, good, get rid of them now. And so I did. And it felt like my entire world was crumbling because they handled so many things. And he called me and he goes, hey, congrats, man. I'm like, congrats? Hell's like raining down on me right now, and you're congratulating me? And he's like, dude, my mom used to say, when you're going through hell, stomp on the gas. And so, like, you just got to do it, man. I'm telling you, I don't care who you are. I don't care what your ethnicity is. I don't care what your background is, where you are on the socioeconomic scale, does not matter. You have to just face your fear, know you're going to have it, and freaking stomp on the gas and do it anyway.
Ladies and gentlemen, valuable. Let's give Ken Walls a round of applause. Ken, thank you for jumping in with us, brother.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. Keep connecting us, man. I appreciate it. For everybody who's here, Doreen and I have been looking at this 100 Millionaire Summit this year and say, okay, 1,000 people in the room. How are we going to do it? How are we going to do it? So every week that I jump into Ken Wall's mastermind, I ask the same question. I'm like, so how do I do it? Like, who's got the people to connect me with? How do I get 1,000 people in the room? And every week, I'm getting some new piece of information. Every week I've got some new idea. And like, that's the power of masterminds. Each one of you, even within this community, it's some level of a mastermind, but you can build your accountability with somebody. Make sure that throughout the rest of this week, you're finding the people you want to serve. In our mastermind, we're always looking to serve each other. In this community, we're looking to serve each other. Hands to the camera if you know all of the problems you have, somebody else can solve them. Every problem you have, there's somebody who has a solution for that problem. Yes. And I guarantee you, every problem you have, there's somebody who actually likes solving your problems. Guarantee it. I used to think, man, being a real estate agent sucks. It's tough work, until I hired a team of 25 real estate agents who are thankful for all the leads I was sending them. Thankful. Like, they were like, man, like, can you send me more? Holy shit. I couldn't stand all the leads I was getting. I couldn't stand all the people I was working with. Not to say I don't love working with people, but man, like, it gets old. One house is 1,000 houses, right? So in your business, whatever you don't like, I had the same conversation with Melanie, right? Melanie is a multimillionaire, and she sometimes forgets her own power. She's like, man, like, why would anybody want to do this? It's like, Melanie, you started at the bottom. Remember starting at the bottom? She was slicing sandwiches at Subway. Now she owns the freaking Subways, but she forgets, that somebody at some point might want to be a manager of a Subway. Hands to the camera if you get this, right? So it's oh, look at Dorina. There she is. 2 beautiful millionaires on the same camera. So ladies and gentlemen, if we didn't get to any of your questions, alchemistnation.com, send me a message on there. Send me or any of the millionaires a message. I want to say thank you for everybody who jumped in. Drew Martin, Ken Walls, coaches, Mike Shine, Ron Bowling, Dr. Terry Wager, Ryan McDermott, I think jumped off. Mitch Jorsky jumped off. And where's the other one? Doug, the great Doug McGurk. And for everybody who is here, your commitment to your success, your commitment to you becoming a millionaire is the biggest gift you can do for me. I get asked all the time, how can I help? Let's focus on you first, right? Once you got your million, once you understand how the game is played, then we can play together on bigger projects. We can go out and do bigger things. But you are the most important thing. In your family, you're the most important thing, right? You can't feed your kids if you're not okay. Does that make sense? So we got to work on you first, allow me to pay it forward, allow me to, give you an opportunity and be here to guide you. And then I'm just going to ask, once you got yours, help me go help some others get theirs. We agree? This is a good deal? All right. And for anybody who has questions about the mentorship, shoot me a text or jump into that link that I said. If you're already in the mentorship, you know how to get me. Cheers to your success. We have a choice. Always work with the best. I appreciate you guys. Let's go have a powerful week. Thanks again, everybody.
You rock.
You rock.
Everyone.
Later.
The best, the best, the best.
The best. Dr. Terry, shoot me a text with the Zoom link. I'll see you on the next one.
Thank you.
Ciao, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Thanks, Ken.
Good
Peace.
seeing you, Josh.
Thanks,
Good seeing
Ken.
you, Lisa. Bye, Julie.
Thanks, Walter.
Julie, I got your number next week. Next week, you're giving a little testimonial. I love your fire, woman.
I love Julie Bradley.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Bye, everybody.
Later, Mike. Hope you're feeling better, man.
I'll send you the link in email if you don't have it.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks. Later.